A Sister-in-Law's Dilemma. Chapter 1. A Joyful Village Life. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, where we share stories of love, family, and tough choices to touch your hearts and maybe teach a few English words along the way. My name is Sarah, and I'm 36 years old. This story is about me, my family, and a decision that shook our quiet village life. It's a tale of loyalty, heartbreak, and hope, crafted for you, my amazing viewers, to reflect on and share in the comments below. I live in a cozy village nestled among rolling hills, with my husband, David, and our 3 children. Emma, who's 11, Jack, who's 8, and little Mia, just 3 years old. Our home, a small stone cottage we built near David's parents, is filled with laughter and love. David works long hours as a carpenter, crafting furniture that fills our village with warmth. I stay home, tending to the kids, our garden, and our chickens. Life is simple but rich. Our neighbors call us a tight-knit, generous family, always ready to lend a hand. David has an older sister, Laura, who's 38. Growing up, Laura was like a second mother to David. Their parents ran a busy bakery, so Laura walked David to school, helped with his homework, and taught him how to ride a bike. David adores her, often saying, "Laura's my rock." Laura is married to Mark, a quiet, kind-hearted man who runs the village bookshop. Mark and I are close. We love chatting about novels and baking, and we often drive to the next town to buy rare books or spices for our recipes. Our bond is easy, like sisters, and our families spend a lot of time together. But Mark carries a silent sorrow. He and Laura have been trying to have a child for years, but Laura has a medical condition that makes it impossible. I've seen the pain in Mark's eyes when he watches our kids play, and I try to lift his spirits. "Medicine is advancing," I'd say. "Maybe one day you'll have a little one." He'd nod, his smile faint, but the years passed, and their home stayed quiet. Chapter 2. A Special Celebration. One sunny spring day, we hosted a big family gathering to celebrate Mia's baptism. Laura was chosen as Mia's godmother, a role she embraced with joy. Our cottage buzzed with relatives and friends, the air filled with the scent of roasted chicken and fresh bread I'd baked. The kids ran through the garden, chasing each other, while David and Laura swapped old stories, laughing like they were kids again. Mark was in his element, playing tag with Emma and Jack, his laughter louder than I'd heard in years. It was a perfect day, full of love, food, and music. As night fell, the guests trickled out, and I tucked the kids into bed. Emma and Jack were already half asleep, and Mia dozed off in my arms. I joined David and Laura in the living room, expecting a light chat about the day. David was holding Mia, rocking her gently, when Laura's expression turned serious. "Sarah," she said, her voice low, "I need to talk to you about something important." I smiled, teasing. What, planning a secret fishing trip with David? But her eyes didn't lighten, and my stomach tightened. Chapter 3. A Shocking Request. Laura took a deep breath. "Sarah, would you consider having a baby for me and Mark?" The words hit like a thunderbolt. I froze, my mind racing. David looked down at Mia, silent, his face unreadable. I stammered, "What do you mean?" Laura's voice trembled as she continued. "Mark and I want a child so badly. I can't carry one, and adoption, we've heard stories of how hard it can be. Your kids are healthy, Sarah. You're healthy. We trust you. A baby from you would be family." I felt dizzy, my heart pounding. "You're asking me to carry a baby for 9 months and then give it to you," I said, my voice sharper than I meant. Laura nodded, her eyes pleading. "We'd move away after to another town. You wouldn't have to see us. And we'd give you and David my share of the family inheritance, everything we have." David finally spoke, his voice soft. "Sarah, Laura's always been there for me. This is important to her." I stood, my legs shaky, and walked to the kitchen, needing air. My mind was a storm of emotions, shock, anger, fear. I thought of Mark, waiting outside, probably knowing about this request. I needed to talk to him. Chapter 4. A Heart-to-Heart with Mark. I found Mark in the garden, staring at the stars. "Did you know what Laura was going to ask?" I said, my voice tight. He nodded, his face etched with pain. Sarah, I love Laura more than anything, but she's hurting. She thinks if we don't have a child, I'll leave her. I won't, but she's convinced this is the only way to keep our marriage whole. His voice broke. I don't want to lose her and I don't want to hurt you, but I dream of a child, of a family like yours. We talked for hours, sitting on the garden bench. Mark shared how he'd always wanted to be a father, how he'd imagined teaching a child to read, just like he did at his bookshop's story hours. I told him about my fears, carrying a child, giving it up, the toll it would take on my body, my heart, my family. I want to help, I said, but this feels like too much. Mark nodded, tears in his eyes. I know, I'm sorry we asked. Chapter 5. Wrestling with the Decision. The next few days were heavy. David didn't push me, but I could see he wanted to support Laura. She's given me so much, he said one night. I just want her to be happy. I understood his loyalty, but I felt torn. I loved my children fiercely, Emma's curiosity, Jack's goofy grin, Mia's tiny giggles. Could I carry another child, feel it grow inside me, and then let it go? What would it do to my marriage, my kids, my sense of self? I prayed, I journaled, I cried. I talked to my best friend, Clara, who lived across the village. Sarah, she said, you're kind, but you don't owe them this. Your heart, your body, it's your choice. Her words grounded me, but the thought of Laura and Mark's empty home haunted me. I imagined their quiet evenings, the longing in their eyes when they watched my kids. Chapter 6. A Family Meeting. A week later, I asked Laura and Mark to come over. The kids were at their grandparents', giving us space to talk. I took a deep breath. I've thought about your request, I said. I love you both and I see your pain, but I can't do this. Carrying a child and giving it up, it's too much for me. I'd be giving away a piece of my heart. Laura's face fell, but she nodded. I understand, she whispered. Mark reached for her hand. Sarah, David, thank you for even considering it. We were wrong to ask. I saw the love between them, fragile but real. There are other ways, I said gently. Adoption agencies, fertility treatments, fostering. I'll help you research, support you however I can. David squeezed my hand, proud of my strength. Chapter 7. A New Path Forward. Over the next year, Laura and Mark explored other options. They connected with an adoption agency and began the process to adopt a child. I was there every step, helping with paperwork, attending meetings, even hosting a fundraiser to cover costs. Our families grew closer, not through a shared child, but through shared hope. Emma and Jack started calling Mark Uncle Story, loving his bookshop visits, and Mia would nap in Laura's arms, a small comfort. David and I grew stronger, too. We talked openly about the request, about trust and boundaries. He admitted he felt torn between his sister and me, but he respected my choice. Our love deepened, rooted in honesty. Chapter 8. A Family Complete. One autumn day, Laura and Mark brought home a 4-year-old girl named Sophie, adopted from a nearby city. She had curly hair and a shy smile, and she fit into their lives like she'd always been there. At Mia's next birthday, Sophie ran around with our kids, giggling as Mark chased them. Laura's eyes shone with joy, and I felt a weight lift. Their home was no longer quiet, it was alive with love. This is my story, a story of family, tough choices, and finding hope in unexpected ways. If you're watching, maybe you've faced a hard decision or felt torn between love and your own boundaries. Know that it's okay to choose yourself, to set limits, and to help others in ways that feel right for you. What would you have done in my place? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Thank you for listening. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps this channel going, bringing more stories to inspire and connect us. Let's grow this community together, learning from each other's hearts. See you in the next story with love and hope.